Greetings, brothers and sisters. So I was thinking about this Joe Biden, let's go Brandoning himself. Parents use right-wing slur during Biden call. Parent uses right-wing slur during Biden call with NORAD's Santa tracker. The phrase, let's go Brandon, has become popular in right-wing crowds. This is MSNBC is covering it. And, you know, we all saw it. I'll show you the video again in a second because it's funny. It's better quality video. President Biden was subjected to a right-wing anti-Biden slur during a Christmas Eve call with NORAD's Santa tracker. Biden and the First Lady were speaking with families around the country who had called into the North American Aerospace Defense Command to receive an update on Santa's location. You know, it's there's a website which I showed you yesterday. When one parent ended the conversation by saying, "Let's go, Brandon," the president did not appear to recognize, this is the part I want to get to today, did not appear to recognize that the phrase was used by the right wing as a euphemism for F Joe Biden, and responded, "Let's go, Brandon, I agree." And so they explained the whole thing here. Here's the MSNBC version of the video.
I hope you have a
they describe what's happening here.
wonderful Christmas.
Well, yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well. Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree. Hey, buddy.
They show it again. Here they say,
I hope you have a wonderful Christmas.
Biden did not appear to recognize the right-wing phrase.
Well, yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well. Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree. Hey, buddy.
MSNBC News getting it done here. This is for Fox News, and there's an extended version here.
I hope you have a wonderful Christmas.
Well, yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well. Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree. Hey, by the way, where are you in Oregon? Where's your home? I think we lost him.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we lost him, right? So I just realized I did a whole long voiceover here, and instead of using my handheld mic, which is superior, for some reason I thought I changed the default setting, but I have a new computer and I use the mic that's in the computer. So my voice is going to sound different. It's like 20 minutes long. I'm not going to go back and redo it. I couldn't if I wanted to. It's early. I'm a little bit tired or whatever. So you're going to hear the audio's different, but it's still acceptable. So here it goes. So you can see by the end, like he's not upset by it. But him even saying that means that either A, they haven't told him. His handlers and people controlling him, and he's so out of the loop. He's so clueless. He hasn't heard about Let's Go Brandon. And, he's branded. And so he doesn't know. Jill seemed to know. Let's play that again. Let's watch it again here.
I hope you have a wonderful Christmas.
Well, yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well. Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
It's hard to tell with her. It's like she seems to kind of know here. Yeah, like she doesn't know how to handle it. So she didn't know JoJo Magoo was going to double down.
Hey, by the way, where are you in Oregon? Where's your home?
Right there, her head goes down, almost indicating like, oh my God, this is bad. Right? Let it go, Joe. The guy just effed you. Right? Like it's a little bit of a tell.
I think we lost him.
Yeah.
So right there, she says, yeah, right? Like, yeah, like let this guy go, Joe. It's over. You got effed, right? You effed yourself. Like you can't really, the indicator seems like she might know. He clearly doesn't. And so he said it, and he said, I agree. And either they told him and he doesn't remember, which is completely possible. That's plausible because he's JoJo Magoo. So they told him what it meant. And, they're yelling it at rallies and things. I think everybody kind of knows, everyone but JoJo Magoo knows what it means, right? It was the #1 song on iTunes for a while. The guy did that rap song. And so he either was not told or he was told and he forgot. Like, those are the two choices here. And both of them are bad. And it shows you that the Let's Go Brandon thing, although it's, funny, it's kind of played out now, is funny. And it's, a big thing for Trump supporters and right-wingers and, some truthers, is completely ridiculous because the guy's clueless. Either he can't remember it or they're not even telling him. He's such a puppet. He's so handled and managed that they don't even tell him these things. He's so far out of the loop. Trump was on Twitter and he would watch, news. And Trump was into pop culture. But a lot of these guys are completely isolated, right? They're so, in a different level of sphere of, class or whatever you want to call it, that they don't know what's going on in the world, right? And for him to not to know what Let's Go Brandon means and he got Let's Go Brandon, right? He just Let's Go Brandon himself, which is hilarious, and it's a Christmas present for many. But it's really disturbing. It's what I say all the time about the left-right paradigm, right? Because the choices here are either he doesn't know, he's so far out of the loop that he's not president, right? If he doesn't know what that means, they're not communicating to him. He's got people, handlers, people are supposed to protect him. People are supposed to prepare him for something like this, right? Hey, let's go Brandon yourself if somebody says it. It means something bad. Don't say it. Don't repeat it. Like they're supposed to protect him from this, and they didn't. And so, what else are they not telling him? Like, he's so clueless, he's not paying attention to what's going on. So they're just handing him things to read and telling him, what's going on in the world. He's completely insulated and isolated. This happened to Reagan when Reagan got Alzheimer's, right? This is what the news should be covering. Like, why doesn't he know that? Why isn't he prepared? This is a huge gaffe. He just said F Joe Biden. Joe Biden himself just said F Joe Biden. This is like, monumental gaffe. But all the people who are saying Let's Go Brandon, all the people who are, saying F Joe Biden, they should look at this and go, he isn't even, he's not even the president, right? Because option number 2 is they told him and he didn't remember. That they told him what it meant. And he completely forgot it. Even so much so after he said it, he didn't even realize he got gotten. And he, hey, from Oregon, hey, yeah, we lost him, right? So, like, he's, he doesn't know. And so both things show he's not the president. Like, he's the president, but he's not the president, right? Like, he's gone. Like, him doing that is an epic gaffe. Him saying F Joe Biden, repeating the worst kind of, mantra that the oppositional side is using against you. For him to do that, he's just so clueless. Like, he's gone. And that means, the president is the president. Like, we know that. I've known that for years. Trump was handled, and, Trump had his controllers and handlers as well, right? And they worked Trump. They worked Trump, but Trump didn't Let's Go Brandon himself. Like, he didn't do anything this bad. Like, this is really bad, right? The mainstream media is playing off like, some mean guys got him, right? But they should be saying, how does he not know? Like, how does this guy not know what just happened? Like, what's going on? Like, there's, you just got Let's Go Brandon. This should be follow-up questions. How did you not know about this, right? It's sweeping the country. It's not some small little isolated thing. It's kind of a movement. And, like, why is he agreeing to it? Yeah, I agree. Let's go Brandon. Who's Brandon? I don't know. I'm just agreeing with this random caller. He seems like a nice guy from Oregon. I'm just going to go along with it. He said, Brandon, I'm sure. Brandon's a good guy, I'm sure. Right? Like, why would he repeat it? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, he didn't even, like, he repeated something and he didn't know what it meant, which is another huge problem for a president, right? Like, you're trained not to, if you don't know what they're talking about, don't agree with it and repeat it, because He could have said anything that was code for something. I mean, it could have been any number of derogatory statements or political statements. Oh, yeah, I agree with that. Let's go, Brand. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. What does it mean? I don't know. I agree, though. Yeah, and I'm just, like, what are you doing? So this is a Merry Christmas present for Republicans and right-wing people. But it's really disturbing. Like, it is, it's truth. Like, it's a layer of truth. I mean, it's in a way great for me and many of you, the left-right paradigm people that believe that, both sides are controlled and, it's all this, it's just theater, political theater. But if he's being handled and managed and aren't making decisions, then who's making the decisions, right? Who's the real power behind the throne? Like, then it becomes, well, if JoJo Magoo is clueless, I mean, that's why people get angry at him. I mean, it's kind of sad. It's pathetic, right? I mean, it is kind of mean-spirited in a sense that this guy is mentally gone and he's just owning himself, right? Like it's just brutal. But, if it's no longer an elected president, which this indicates, right? Somebody being completely, handled and managed, then what is it? Like, what's going on here? If this guy, doesn't understand just basic political principles and isn't aware of what's going on around him, and he's either forgetting or he's not being told, which both, like, I don't know which one's worse, but they're both bad, right? Like, both of those options are bad. Then who's steering the ship, right? Because the people steering the ship are, they have anonymity, so they can do anything. I've talked about being anonymous on social media. When you're anonymous, you can say things. That's why people are so mean on social media. That if you had to sign your name to it, you wouldn't say, right? Anonymity, I mean, the whole thing with the cubies, right? Anonymity gives you a certain level of protection where you can do things and say things and it doesn't come back to you, right? Whatever they do under the Biden presidency will be blamed on Biden and they can, they're completely protected. And that's dangerous, right? And most people should be aware of it. Like, so, yeah, you might be happy that he said it. And it, is confirmation for us who, don't believe that. I mean, we believe it's just political theater. But it is disturbing, right? Like, it's confirmation of something that's not good. Like, this guy's just a puppet out there, and not even a good one. And they're just going to burn him and throw him away and put in somebody else that'll do their bidding. They're like a shield, right? Biden's a shield blocking, receiving all the hate and the feedback from, the things and policies that are being forced down Americans' throats, right? I guess the Biden supporters were up in arms on Twitter last night. My wife's saying there's all these tweets about, like if you hashtag what happened, they're saying how awful it was and how, mean this person was. This guy's the effing president, right? And he's openly being mocked and ridiculed at large sporting events. I mean, this is happening, whether they're covering it or not. People know about it, and he should know about it. If he needs to be protected from this, then, how's he going to deal with Putin, right? Like, if he can't handle a let's go Brandon, like he can't even negotiate that. Like, how can he do anything else as president? That's what I said to, Democrats when they got elected. Would you have this guy drive your kid's school bus, right? Like, what would you think what job would you give this guy and feel good that he could accomplish it, right? He's gone mentally. Like, they've known forever. I mean, he was, it wasn't like this just happened overnight and he's gone. Like, he's clueless. He's completely, in that end stage of life where his brain isn't functioning. He's not, he's lost. He's confused. He makes gaffe after gaffe, and he's done that his whole career. And now it's just much worse. Like, all these things, all the problems you have, all the mistakes you have as you get older, those things are, there's more deterioration, so those things just get worse. And this is this is an epic gaffe, right? This is a huge misstep on him. If he can't handle and negotiate a phone call, on this stupid NORAD thing where they're tracking Santa, and there's some guy squeezes on there that's, a right-wing person, and he lets go Brandon's himself, right? And all these Biden supporters and, the MSNBC, oh my God, look at how mean this guy is. No, this guy's freaking president, right? Like, he should be able to deal with this. He should have been able to, And they should have done a better job of protecting him. They know how vulnerable he is. It's a complete failure. Like his team failed, he failed, Jill failed. Like, they dealt with this in the worst way possible. If you ever seen I just rewatched Iron Man 3 like, a month ago or so. I was up late or something. And there's this character called the Mandarin in the, Marvel comic books, but it's played by, the actor who played Gandhi, Ben Kingsley, and he's an actor in the movie, the Iron Man movie. He's just playing this character, right? He's, a front man for a, criminal organization. So he's, just some clueless actor, right? And Iron Man goes and confronts him, and the guy's like, he's got these girls, and he's like, doing heroin. He's just sitting there completely clueless to what's going on. And he is the front man for, a nefarious plot that's going on, right? It's a good, metaphor for what we're seeing here. Joe Biden doesn't really have any power. Like, they're not giving him, if they're not telling him, what Let's Go Brandon is, or they told him he didn't remember, then he doesn't have any power. He's not making any decisions. And this is, as clear as day now. I mean, many of us have believed this, but now it's just right there. And, yeah, it's nice to be right, but it also sucks to be right, that we don't have a democracy anymore. This is where they just put out some candidate, forced him through, right? I mean, the way this whole thing went. And then, he's a complete puppet. Like, that's a puppet. That's what a puppet does, right? Somebody says, let's go, Brandon, and you repeat it. That's, oh, let's go, Brandon. That's what he's done his whole, they tell him what to say, and he says it. He's a puppet, right? Some guy says, let's go, Brandon. Yeah, let's go, Brandon. I agree. Yeah. I don't know. I just read the lines. Oh, I don't think for myself. And so, it's funny, but yeah, it sucks, right? Like, this is another nail in the coffin of America, right? Like, if they can puppetize somebody like this, and they've been doing it for years. They did it with Reagan, more obviously, because he had Alzheimer, but every president has been managed and handled and run and all these things. They have a plan in place in terms of, global, foreign affairs and the military-industrial complex. And the president comes in, and they've already had pre-existing plans. The CIA, the security agencies, they all have these operations, and they don't want some president coming in and wrecking it, right? No, stop that. Like, they don't want, And so they have gotten away with this for years, and that's why, nobody's calling it. Nobody's saying, hey, this is disturbing, right? How does he not know this? Like, why did he do that? Why did he, agree with the guy? Hey, you from Oregon? Like he's pals, wants to be pals with them, right? The guy just effed him, and he doesn't even know. He got effed, and he doesn't even know. He effed himself. The guy got him to eff himself, and he's completely clueless about it. And this should be like a red flag for. I mean, this is, as asleep as he is, right? As as stupid as he was in that moment, as much as he got owned, or he owned himself in that moment. All the right-wing people that are celebrating and so happy about it, and all the left-wing people are like, oh my God, it's so mean, are missing the bigger point here. That this is an indication that the government that we think is a democracy is not that. Like, it's a complete failed state, right? It's completely owned and handled and all these things. I mean, it's just right there in front of everybody. I mean, I say it all the time. There's no stopping the system from crumbling. Like, these are the kind of signs of a system that no longer is functioning. And, this kind of leadership, right? That's why I always talk about, like, heartfulness and a spiritual solution, because you're not going to fix this system. You're not going to fix the world the way it is. You're not going to fix people, because people don't even see what they're seeing. Like, they just, they just go to the surface level. Oh, Biden said, let's go, Brandon. They don't even think about the greater implications. They don't dive deeper into anything. And so, therefore, they don't even really see the problem. This is an indication of a cancer that's, invaded the realms of political power, not just here, but globally. And it's not it's not a Democratic thing or a Republican thing. It's everybody. It's the whole political system. And when people get this kind of anonymous power, which they've had forever, it's really been behind the system all along, they're going to do stupid stuff. They're going to, go, and they're going against the will of God. They get, big egos, get demonic, whatever. And when you detach yourself from your soul and your purpose here, your divine purpose here, your spiritual purpose, then you start to be self-sabotageable. You self-destruct, right? I mean, that's, what happens. Like people who are off the reservation, who go away from what they're supposed to be doing on a spiritual level, they start to self-destruct. And you see this on a global level and a country level at the United States. There's self-destruction going on. And so, you have to find something else, right? If the system can't be fixed, then what do? Right? Like, you can't fix the system. And the system is crumbling, and it's immoral, and it's degrading all around you. Then what do? And you connect to God, right? You find, you put your faith in something else, right? You no longer have faith in the government or the American system, which everybody does. It's, everyone thinks it's indestructible, the global economy. And you realize that anything is transitory, anything can be wiped out. And you put faith in something that's eternal, and that's God, right? That this is part of a plan, and that people who are, willing to be part of the solution will be supported in some way, and you'll be able to move forward at least on a spiritual level, no matter what happens on you, what happens to you in the system, in the world, materially, at least you're going in the right direction spiritually, because everything can get wiped out in a second. Systems can collapse. It happens to animal life all the time. A storm comes in, and something happens, a fire, whatever, and animals have to relocate, right? They have to start over. They have to, they've built homes, they've, established like hunting grounds, and they just have to move somewhere else and try to figure it out there, right? People used to be nomadic. There's still some nomadic people, like the gypsies, people that move around. They have, like, you go to Mongolia, you have these people that have these yurts, these like big yurt-like tents, round tents, and they just pick them up and move somewhere else, right? They follow whatever, is keeping them alive. They're grazing. These mountainous people where the grass browns out, gets cold, they go to a lower region, right? Where there's, grass for their yak to graze, for the yak to graze. And so this is like, the true nature of human beings and life in general. Nothing is supposed to be, you can't own land, right? You're just a small, powerless grain of sand, being washed away and, thrown around by the ocean tides. Only spirituality will save this world. This is Paul Romano, definitely reporting from the apocalypse and the ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.